Houston Texans named in a blockbuster trade that I actually like. If you're new to the channel, we're Detroit Lions fans, but we have this channel all about teams that don't get the love nationally like they should, or they get ignored by the national media. Texans being one of those teams, just because it seems like all the focus is always on the Cowboys. Who cares about them? Actually have a real franchise in the Texans, run the right way, good quarterback, good head coach. So we like talking about them. Okay, here's the trade. And before I get into that, Houston Texans fans, let me know in the comments, what was your favorite game of 2023? Let me know in the comments and read everybody else's and kind of see. And I'm curious if y'all kind of land in the same place or where you're at with that. Had so many good games, so many games where it was like, what? How did you win that? Or CJ Stroud going crazy. That's probably mine, is that first game when CJ Stroud went just nuts. And you're like, what? This guy he's good. Like, he is actually seriously going to be good. Okay, here's the trade, and you let me know as well in the comments on this one. Hassan Reddick to the Houston Texans. Here's what it would take: a 2024 second round pick, fine, and a 1-year, $15 million deal, non-guaranteed. You could put a void year in there. There's a lot of creative ways, and that's not bad. So none of this is bad. You just have to ask yourself, do we want Reddick? And here, if you really break him down, he's 31 years old. He's entering the final year of his 3-year, $45 million deal. So that's why the Eagles are like, we're going to probably have to move on from you because we don't want to pay you this last year. Your big cap hit. So they'd be willing to do this. So you're really asking yourself, for a second round pick, we would get Hassan Reddick or pick somebody else, right? Like, duh. But that's what it would cost. And to me, Hassan Reddick is a veteran that you can put in with your young guys. So you don't want to always be getting older guys with your draft picks. I get that. But you spent draft capital to get your young guy and Will Anderson. So now you've got Hassan Reddick on the other side, because really it feels like the Texans are building this combination. Like, they have this window now, and you're building a combination of young players. You have to do that, no question. But it feels like, hey, we are good enough with the quarterback that we have to sprinkle in veteran players to help us get into the playoffs and then advance from there. And we need some guys that have been there. Hassan Reddick just seems perfect. 31 years old, so he still has 2 years, hopefully, of some good ball. He did take a dip this year in 2023, but this is a relentless pass rusher. Got to have those, and a veteran guy that can be opposite of Will Anderson. And you don't want to be reckless. I get this, but you also have CJ Stroud on your team that's going to cover up for a lot of things. So you can take chances like this. If you don't have a quarterback, or you got an aging quarterback, or you just don't have an elite quarterback, then this second round pick is gold. You have to build around the quarterback. You have to do all these things. But when the Texans have a quarterback in place, it feels like you can kind of take these risks, if you will. We're not going to pick our second round guy. We're going to get a Hassan Reddick, and boom, we've got 2 defensive ends that are legit and can cause problems. So Riddick wasn't as dominant in 2023. His pass rush grade went from a very good 90 to 75. His win rate dropped a couple percentages, and his pressure rate dropped. Nonetheless, he's still very effective edge defender, one who has now logged 800 plus snaps and registered double-digit sacks in 4 consecutive seasons. So double-digit sacks. Like, I just would bank money he would get double-digit sacks this year's. Teams looking for smaller outside linebacker who can get upfield in a hurry and generate quick pressure with a good bender on the edge will be calling Philly and look to extend Riddick as part of the agreement. So this one makes sense, and I like it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments on this one. We could kind of talk about this one forever, but we'll move on. But let me know in the comments. Maybe you're thinking to yourself, nah, let's just take that second round pick. You could make the opposite argument. We've got our quarterback. Let's keep building the foundation, build this the right way. We don't need to get rid of this second round pick. Next thing. Is there anyone just cooler than Andre Johnson? Look at this guy. Love him. Love him from afar. First of all, great player, college, pro. He's wearing the sweetest sweatshirt I've ever seen in my life right here. Look at that. And he comes back. So he's going to the Hall of Fame, newly accepted in the Hall of Fame. He came back to the stadium Wednesday to a red carpet welcome from employees of the franchise. He met with the media, chatted with the, people around the building, the voice of the Texans, radio sideline reporters, and even sat down with Texans.com for an interview. And it's just like this dude, like, appreciate you everything that you've done. He'll get enshrined in Canton early August. So just as kind of the football season starts to go, preseason, he'll be in there. He's talking to Tank Dell. Just let me know your thoughts on Andre Johnson. Man, he was one just as from, again, being a Lions fan, kind of there was a stretch there when he was playing with the Texans where the Lions weren't good. You're just kind of watching football. He was one that's like, man, that dude is good. He's solid. Love that. So again, if you're new to the channel, we make videos for teams that don't get the love. Texans fans, the Lions and the Texans, and why it's been fun is we're just very similar paths. Teams that just kind of been down and out. I know the Texans and the Lions had some good years sprinkled in there, but in general, and the Texans better than the Lions, I think. In general, they've just been down and no real, like, where's the juice? Where's the team that is just kind of making the playoffs and making a run? So both teams made the playoffs. Both teams have quarterbacks, head coaches, but in general have cultures. And I think that's something that you think is just a corny thing until you actually see it. And then you're like, oh, that's actually a real thing to have, like, a culture. And it starts with, in the Texans case, the head coach and the quarterback really, man, CJ Stroud is super impressive. Love what he's all about, what he stands for, how humble he is, man of God. It's super cool to see him just be like, this is who I am. And you don't have to worry about him. He's going to be there. Guys want to play for him, play hard for him. Same thing with Jared Goff. Goff is just steady as can be. Guys love him. Dan Campbell, Jared Goff. So, like, once you get the GM, the head coach, and the quarterback, the rest is just, it's not, it's just like, let's just see what we need to do, right? You've got the hard stuff. Those are the majors. Now the minors are, let's fill in. Maybe we get this guy with it. But you've already got the major stuff. So I love what the Texans are doing. We're really excited about the Texans. We watch the Texans and just, man, it's fun to see the direction that they're headed. Again, we saw it with the Lions. You're right there. Now the Texans, while they're in the midst of a rebuild, made the playoffs. I mean, geez. So that's fun. Next year, though, it just feels like, look out. Like, they are going to be the favorite in that division, and anything's possible. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Can't wait to see what they do in free agency and the draft. It's all coming right around the corner here as we get into the combine, then free agency and the draft. And we'll see all of you on